Hey, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sophie and I'm the founder of Agnes LDN. So I talk about upcycling a lot on my Instagram page, and also normally I run upcycling workshops in the UK where I encourage people to bring along an old garment and then we turn it into something new and useful, like a bag or a headband, for example. So my aim behind the workshops is less about what we do in the actual workshops. It's more about giving people the confidence to actually tackle those wardrobe repairs that you may have at home, or say if you're buying something secondhand and it's not quite right, to tackle those alterations and to feel confident hand sewing and using a sewing machine. So I've had several requests for some repairs videos, and I know a lot of you have been spending more time at home going through your wardrobe. It's also a change of seasons now, so we'll be getting out our spring summer pieces that maybe we haven't worn for a year or so. So maybe there were some pieces that we put away last year that needed a repair and we haven't got around to doing it. I've saved up a few items from my wardrobe and a couple of other people's items that need repairs, and I was going to show you how I'm going to fix them. Fixing our clothes is a great way to help maintain a sustainable wardrobe. As we all know, loved clothes last longer. So if there's just a simple fix and then you can wear your clothes again, it prolongs the lifespan of that item of clothing and means that we're sending less textiles to landfill per year. Now let me show you what I need to fix. Hopefully you may have something similar in your wardrobe, and hopefully it'll be helpful if you need to do a similar alteration or repair. First up is a pair of jeans, and this is a really common issue that I'm sure all of us have experienced before, when your favourite jeans split or start to come apart at the seams. In some cases, say for example, if this was on the knee or somewhere else in the jeans, I could do a visible repair. There's some really gorgeous examples of visible mending out there, but because it is right at the back of the jeans, obviously we want this repair to be as discreet as possible. So I'm going to try and make it look like there isn't a repair there. We'll see how that goes. Next up is my absolute favourite dress. I bought this dress last year when I was in New York in a thrift shop, and when I tried it on, the invisible zip at the back was already broken. I'm sure you've seen this problem with zips before, where the zipper becomes stuck and it becomes open underneath. So the zip was already broken when I tried it on in the store. So I managed to get it for only $9, which I'm not sure how much that is. That might be like £5. So it's an absolute steal. Unfortunately, I was saving it to wear to summer weddings this year, so I haven't actually worn it yet, hence the reason why I haven't repaired it. But it looks like I will probably be wearing it next year at weddings. Brought it even though it was faulty because I knew that I could replace the zip, and I knew that the zip wouldn't cost me that much anyway, so it was still a bargain for me. Next up is this skirt, which was also secondhand, but it used to be a maxi skirt, and then I decided that I felt like old Mother Hubbard when I wore it, so I shortened it down to a midi length skirt, but it has a hole in the seam by the zip. If you can see, there's my finger. There's a hole there. So I have actually been wearing this with the hole because I'm super lazy and it was winter, so I was wearing it over tights, but I do really need to repair this. It should be a really easy repair because, as you can see, the seams are bound, so I just need to carry on this stitch up and attach the zip to it. Like, I can see exactly where it's come undone. So I could do this on my sewing machine, which would be really quick and easy to do. Otherwise, I think I'm going to do it by hand. So if you don't have a sewing machine at home, you can see how like hand stitching can be used to repair garments as well. So yeah, that's the next one. Let me know in the comments below what repairs you need to do in your wardrobe, and hopefully I can help you tackle them in the future. So to begin repairing this hole, I'm just going to turn the jeans inside out so I can get to it from the inside. And first of all, I'm going to back it with another piece of fabric to strengthen my repair. So I have some denim, so I'm going to use denim to try and match it as close as possible. It's not exactly the same colour, but it's as close as I've got. I don't have to use denim, I could have used any cotton that was woven. So now I'm just going to measure to see how big I need to cut the piece of fabric. So this rip is roughly 10 centimetres long. So I'm going to do a strip about 5 centimetres long by 13 centimetres, I think. So it definitely covers it. Doesn't matter if it's quite rough, this is going to be on the inside of the jeans, so we won't see it. So now I'm going to pin that into place, ready for when I go to the sewing machine. Just roughly pinning it in place so it stays in place, and just by putting 4 pins in each corner. There we go. So in theory, once we've repaired it and turned it the right way around, you won't see that fabric. So because I'm repairing this on the sewing machine, I'm going to use a zigzag stitch. I want to match the thread as close as I possibly can to the colour of the jeans, so the repair is as discreet as possible. So I've got a few different colours here, but I think this one might be the closest match. I think the others are going to be too bright. Yeah, that one's quite bright. Now I've got my fabric pinned in place and I've got my thread. I'm going to go over to the sewing machine. Okay, so we've got our colour thread that we want to repair the jeans with. So I'm just going to thread up my machine and wind a bit onto the bobbin as well. Because my main concern is what this looks like from the outside, I'm going to do this from the outside first and then fix it on the inside. And also I don't want to take this in at all because then they might not fit. So I'm going to switch my machine to zigzag stitch, and then I'm going to change the length of the zigzag. I'm going to start off with quite a wide one to begin with. So I'm starting off with a length of 4 to see how it goes. Yeah, let's just do it and see how it goes. So obviously you need to be mindful that there's pins in it and I don't want to sew over the pins. So let me show you what I've done, which hopefully you can't see that well because of the thread colour is so well matched. But I've literally gone over the stretched point with the zigzag stitch to bring it in closer to this seam. So from the inside, you can see where I've gone down with the zigzag. And I think I'm going to go over it a couple more times just to make it a little bit stronger. Yeah, I'm going to go over it a few more times now. And I can take these pins out now that this piece of fabric is held in place by that stitching. So when I'm doing this, I'm starting above the hole and I'm ending below the hole, so making sure to cover the whole thing. Apparently I should have left the pin in because I've caught that corner in it, but oh well, that shouldn't matter too much. It makes it a little bit thicker for the wearer, but oh well. So I'm now going to go just the width of the zigzag slightly more again and go over it one more time. So I think that is about as good as it's going to get for these jeans. This feels nice and secure, so they should be all good. I'm just going to trim this down a little bit and then I'm going to stitch it down again so it's not flapping around. So I did a very similar repair on a pair of jeans last year, but it was next to the pocket that the hole had appeared. So I was able to unpick the pocket, do this repair and then stitch the pocket back over it so you couldn't see it. So I'm just going to stitch from the inside now. I'm just going to go back to straight stitch and stitch from the inside now just to secure that extra piece of fabric that I've put in there. So there you have it. There is the repair, if they're being worn. Hopefully you can't really tell it's there. I think that's as discreet as I'm gonna get it for this repair. And you can see that where I reinforced it with the fabric. So hopefully these jeans have a few more years left in them now. Okay, next up is my skirt repair. As you can see, there's the hole. So the seam has come pretty cleanly undone. So I just need to do the seam back up and attach it to the zip. I'm actually just gonna pin the zip in place for while I'm stitching it, so I can see exactly where it needs a repair. Remembering to take my pins out afterwards, otherwise that would be unfortunate. And then if I open it back up, I can see what needs doing. So basically, I just need to stitch from where it's come undone to a bit past it, so just a short length like that. So I'm going to use back stitch as that's the closest to a machine thread. I'm going to use black because I can see there that there's black thread already been used on this, so this should be a really quick repair. See what I'm doing, because I've tied a knot in the end of my thread, so I'm just popping the needle in somewhere where I can hide the knot and pulling that through, and then it's a little bit fiddly because this is still attached. Then I'm going back in, pinning through from underneath, and then going slightly forward from where I was. If this isn't very clear on this video, I have another short video on my Instagram TV on how to do a back stitch, which I will link, so you can always go ahead and watch that one. And I'm going back to the one I came in from and through. Trying to keep my stitches nice and tight and consistent as they would be if I was using a sewing machine. Appreciate this is not the easiest to see, black thread on this patterned material. A little bit harder where I've got like more layers of fabric and the zip to push the needle through. This is where a thimble comes in handy. Slightly past where my stitches, where the seam came undone originally, and to finish off I'm just going to go back into the same point a couple of times, and as I pull the needle through and a loop is created like so, I'm going to pull my needle through it to create a little knot to secure my stitches. And that's one side done. Now I just need to repeat on the other side of the seam. As you can see, it's nice and secure on that side now. I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other side. So going in from behind to hide the knot somewhere it won't be seen. Going back on myself and then forward. So again, going past where the seam had come undone, going into that point a few times, looping through and knotting it up. So that, I'm just trimming off any extra threads that are in the way, and now you can see that that seam is nice and secure and there is no gaping hole. So that's that one. So in order to replace the zip on this dress, I had to buy a new zip. So this invisible zipper cost me £1.39. So still a bargain in my opinion. Before I ordered the new zip, I measured the length of the old one, which was 53 centimetres. And I bought this one online for £1.39, and this one is 59 centimetres. So had they not had one that was close to that in length, I would have just bought a longer one. So because I was buying online, I obviously couldn't get a very accurate match, but I think this one will be okay. You may still see it from the back, but hopefully it won't be too obvious. Before I can sew in the new zip, I need to unpick the other one. So I'm using a seam ripper or an unpicker, however you like to call it, to remove this zip. So I'm just going to turn the dress inside out, and then I can get to the zip a bit easier. So I can see that there is a double row of stitching, so I'm going to need to unpick both rows of stitching to release the zip. Luckily it's blue thread against cream fabric at the moment, so it's pretty easy to see what I'm unpicking. This has taken a long time as I was trying to be really careful and not rip any of the really delicate fabric. I'm nearly at the end, and to do this properly I'm going to have to take these off, unpick this seam slightly to let out this zip, and then at the end I'll have to sew the hook and eye back on to the dress, so I need to remember to do that. I'm going to put that somewhere safe so I can find it when I need to put it back on. So that's one side of the zip freed. So now I just need to get the other side out. I'm trying to be really careful because it's so easy to rip a hole in this fabric. And the same again with this side, I'm going to unpick it slightly, so I unpick the hook as well. Okay, so that looks really messy, but I will tidy it up when I finish it off. So that's the old zip. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can recycle old zips, I'll need to find that out. And then I'm going to pin the new zip in place. So I'm going to start at the top and pin down. The right side on an invisible zip is the one that the teeth are curled away from, so that's the wrong side, that's the right side. So I'm going to pin the right side of the zip to the right side of the fabric. I'm pinning it along in the seam allowance that was previously there, and I left a little overlap at the top, so I can fold that in and the zip will go all the way up to the top of the dress. To the bottom, and then the same with the other side, making sure as I go that both sides of the zip are lined up. I don't want to sew them in wonky, otherwise the dress will just won't do up very well. Very excited to have this dress fixed up so I can finally wear it, even if it is just around my flat for the moment. So now that's all pinned in place, I'm just going to double check that it's pinned evenly. Yeah, so now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew that in there. So now I have pinned my zip in place, I'm just going to stitch it on. I'm going to use white threads because still some other parts of the dress are in a white thread. Normally you would do this with a zipper foot, but unfortunately I don't have a zipper foot on my machine. Up here I have a dial called needle position, so I'm going to change the position of the needle to get as close to the zip as I possibly can while I'm stitching. So for example, while I do this side, I'm going to want my needle as close to the foot on the left as I can get. Still may not be close enough actually. I have to do for the first little bit until I can open the zip, and then once the zip is open I can get closer to it, and I'm gonna have to remember to take my pins out as I go along. I'm just using a basic straight stitch, and then at the beginning and the end I'm using the back stitch button to reverse my stitches to finish them off. Now I've undone the zip, that allows me to roll the zipper open a little bit more so I can get a bit closer to it with the machine foot. And again, when I get to the top, I'm back tacking. As you can see, I just folded that bit of the zip over at the top and stitched it down. May have done it too high up, but I may need to fold it back to there and stitch along there. But I'll do the other side first and see how it looks. As you can see, I haven't really got that close to the edge. Ideally, I'd want it to be secured so it's right on the edge. But this might just have to do for now, and we'll see how it goes. This is where the zipper foot would come in handy, because the zipper foot hugs the zip so you can get in nice and tight to it. Now just switch the needle position to the other side so I can get close to this side as well. Now I'm going to zip it up and see how it lines up. Yeah, ideally it would have been stitched a lot closer so that the fabric would join together and you wouldn't see the zip. I may have to do this by hand another time if it's really that obvious. And now at the top, I'm going to fold that back and then follow that top stitching along there to finish it off and try and make it look neat. Unfortunately, it doesn't look the neatest as it is still a bit messy from where I unpicked it. But I'll give it a go and see if I can't neaten it up a little bit. Otherwise, I may just have to wear my hair down every time I wear this dress. Okay, so that's not the neatest, but it's a little bit neater. There we have it, one zip in a dress. So let me go and try it on and see what it looks like. The seams are matched up there, which is a good sign. So I'm just going to try the dress on and see how it goes. So here's where I discovered that the dress only fit me in the shop because it didn't have a zip in it. So here is the dress all done up. As you can see, the zip works. You can see it, which isn't ideal, but if I am bothered in the future, maybe I will hand stitch it to make it more visible. But there we go. I absolutely love this dress and I'm so happy that it is wearable now. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch me fix up my wardrobe. I hope it's been useful for you and I hope it's given you some inspiration for some repairs and alterations that you can try at home. Hopefully other items in my wardrobe will wear out and I can make another video for you like this soon. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel as I upload a new video every week, and I've also been popping smaller videos on my IGTV, so go over to my Instagram at Agnes LDN and check out my IGTV. See you later!